Hi, Taehyung Lovers. Welcome back to the Taehyung Lovers channel all around the world. And this time, don't you dare skip the first 3 seconds. Because what you're about to hear is not just a K-pop comeback. This is a moment that makes the world fall silent, then explode all at once. March 2026 is not an ordinary month. This is a point where the world can no longer ignore or get swept away in a wave that has just begun. When the shout to quality echoes, it's not just praise. It's an explosion of emotion that sparks curiosity, even anger. Many are starting to ask, why does a moment this big feel like it was never truly shown fully to the global public? What is actually being hidden? In New York City, according to an exclusive report by Rolling Stone, BTS returned to the American stage in an unusual way. Not nostalgia, but an explosion that had long been held back. Within minutes, the names Taehyung and Jeon Jungkook instantly dominated global trending. But what's even more shocking is not just the performance, but its effect. The world seemed to lose control. And in this video, we're going to break it all down. No filter. First, the most suspicious backstage moment at the Spotify x BTS SWIMSIDE event presented by Spotify. Taehyung smiled that was considered too calm in the middle of global chaos. Second, an unexpected meeting with Diplo that is said to be a signal of a major collaboration yet to be announced. Third, Taehyung's stage outfit worth up to $10,000 that is not just expensive, but sends a powerful visual message to the global fashion industry. Fourth, the performance of Swim and the arirang medley, said to be BTS's new direction, deeper, bolder, and far from their old formula. And finally, Diplo's exclusive confession that reveals something the public has never known about BTS's behind-the-scenes process. So before we continue, write in the comments, in your opinion, is this BTS's biggest comeback or the beginning of something much bigger? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And most importantly, share this video so the world keeps seeing the real side of Taehyung that may have never truly been shown. Because after this, what you're about to see could change the way you see BTS forever. March 2026 cannot ignore or get swept in the wave that has just begun. When a spontaneous shout of quality echoes, it's not just admiration. It's an emotional explosion that sparks curiosity, even anger. Many are beginning to ask, how is it possible that a moment this big feels like it was never truly shown fully to the world? March 2026, Rolling Stone recorded one night that changed the direction of global conversation. In New York City, the roar of the crowd merged into one massive pulse when BTS returned to the stage in the United States after a long hiatus that felt like a void in modern pop history. They didn't come back quietly, not with nostalgia, but with energy that felt like an explosion long restrained. Within minutes, the names Taehyung and Jeon Jungkook shot to the top of global trending, as if the world's algorithm had no choice but to follow the current they created. But behind the roaring stage of the Spotify x BTS SWIMSIDE event presented by Spotify, there was a much quieter moment that felt even more powerful. The camera captured Taehyung's smile, not a smile for public, not for image building, but the natural expression of someone who had finally returned to where he truly belongs, the stage. The cool yet magnetic aura he radiated made him the center of attention without even trying. Together with Jungkook, they didn't just perform, they controlled the world's focus. When backstage videos began to circulate, the public was shown a more intimate side that was even more surprising. In one frame, Taehyung was seen wearing a sparkling white suit with crystal details that reflected light like stars. Beside him, Diplo smiled widely, as if aware he was standing in the middle of a historic moment. This meeting felt like more than just a collaboration. It was a meeting of two major forces in the global music industry, pop and electronic, united in a momentum that is hard to repeat. But the most striking transformation happened on stage. Taehyung appeared with much bolder and edgier style, wearing a black-red leather bomber jacket estimated to be from Saint Laurent or Celine, priced in the thousands of dollars, paired with a maroon tank top from Rick Owens, leather pants from Balmain, and gloves from Alexander McQueen. The entire outfit ranged between $6,000 to $10,000 US. But what made the public freeze wasn't the price. It was the way he wore it, with an attitude that radiated an extreme confidence that is hard to explain. On the New York stage in 2026, BTS performed around 8 to 10 songs, but one became the center of gravity that night, Swim. The song spread at an extraordinary speed, dominating multiple platforms within minutes. Alongside it, they performed iconic tracks like Dynamite, Butter, Spring Day, Black Swan, Mic Drop, and Fake Love, as well as a special medley from their latest album, Arirang. The performance of Swim felt like a declaration that BTS not only returned, but returned with a bigger and deeper vision. The impact was immediately felt globally. Clips of their performance spread uncontrollably. Searches for Taehyung skyrocketed, and major media like Rolling Stone highlighted this moment as one of the most influential comebacks in modern music history. But what's even more interesting is the public reaction, not only filled with admiration, but also complex emotions, shock, curiosity, even questioning whether this is truly the peak or just the beginning of something bigger. In an exclusive interview, Diplo revealed that the creative process with BTS took place with intense dedication for months, leaving almost no time to document the journey. He also confirmed that the Arirang album sold out in many places and broke global records. But what he emphasized the most was the uniqueness of each BTS member, especially Taehyung and Jungkook, who he said possess qualities that cannot be taught, something only a handful of artists in the world have. When the camera finally captured close-ups of the members, the world seemed to pause for a moment. Nothing was excessive, nothing was fabricated. BTS appeared as they are, and that's exactly where their greatest strength lies. Amid all the spotlight, Taehyung stood calm, sharp, and irreplaceable, as if reminding the world that some stars never truly fade. And now the question is no longer about how big this comeback is, but how big the impact they will create next. Is this just the peak of a long journey, or the beginning of a new era that will once again shake the global music industry? The world may be watching, but not everyone truly understands what just happened. And perhaps that's what makes this moment feel far greater than it appears. And at this point, we are no longer talking about just a comeback. We are witnessing a moment that the world cannot ignore or get swept into a wave that has just begun. March 2026 has proven one thing. When BTS moves, the world has no choice but to follow. And in the middle of it all, Taehyung stands as an irreplaceable center of gravity. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. If you don't like it, feel free to skip, because Taehyung Lovers channel never forces anyone. But one thing is certain, what we discuss today is not the end of the story. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Is this the peak or the beginning of something much bigger? Write in the comments, because your voice is part of this story. Final hook. Remember this well. The world may feel like it has seen everything, but in reality, this is just the beginning. Stay tuned for the next updates, only on Taehyung Lovers. Thank you, and see you again. Good night, stay safe, and keep watching every move of Taehyung, because what happens next might be far bigger than we ever imagined.